Hello, welcome back to Velo Fan Motorcycle Workshop episode 7. So I'll just do like I've done before, some updates, progress on what I've been getting up to. I want to try and fit today the cables for the carburettor and attach them to the frame. I think up here on the top tube, possibly on this tube here. I haven't really decided which way is best for it to exit through the tank. Now obviously this is an Mac 15 MDY. Correct carb for this bike. Obviously they did fit some Amal carb, so you need to check your records, dispatch records, as to which is correct for your bike, but this is correct for mine. And in the owners club you don't have the facility to order cables for that carburettor, so I've ordered these from Groves, and they're for a Amal pre-monoblock 276. Both of these are, one being obviously like your choke effectively, and one the main throttle cable. So it's a gamble as to whether they're going to fit. I don't know why I picked this pre-monoblock carb, but I must have done a bit of research and figured it might work. But like I said, we'll have a look and see what we get on with. If they fit, I'll be loving it, because I say that's 2 cables I've fitted to the bike, the first cables on the bike. Okay, so we'll start with the main throttle cable, which you'll see has got a midway adjuster. And we're going to have a look at whether this little end here, whether this nipple is going to be correct for the carb. So I'm just going to unscrew this. Okay. Alright, there we go. So it's all about, I guess, inside there, whether we've got the right thing. Okay. So try and feed this in here. Right, that's a pain, because that won't fit through the hole. So that's the first fail, really. That is not fitting through there. But does it fit through here? The answer to that is yes. That's fitting quite nicely in there. That's kind of like the perfect size nipple, so I don't want to be reducing that nipple to get it to go through that carb piece. So let's look at opening this out so that this will pass through this bit. Right, the nipple measured 3.2 mil and I only had a 3 mil or 3.5 mil drill bit, so just gone and drilled that out. 3.5 mil. That now goes through. However, next problem is that is pretty tight in there for the ferrule on the actual cable, which is a bit weird. But this carb was restored in Germany, so maybe they just have different size cables. Probably do actually. But anyway, right, drill that out. Next bit of the problem solving. We're in nicely now because I've drilled that one out and that one, so that's good. So I'll spin that round, spin the cable in, I suppose. And I'll just nip that up. Nip that up onto there. Might have to adjust that. Might have to adjust that, like I said, we'll see. So anyway, so that's on there. Right, spring in this time in the correct order, not how I fucked up last time. Now on to the actual carb slide. Like I said, it's really cool how they've done that. That just slides in that hole, drops in, pulls up, so that's good. And then that will obviously come down onto there when we get some tension on the old cable. Right, back in. That's in nicely. It's got a little slot that it fits in the correct place. Bring up the old ring. Right, I'm just going to do that up by hand. I don't want to mangle up these knurled. This has actually been remanufactured, although it's an original carb. They've remade that and that. Possibly the bell mouth, not sure, don't think so. And the top of the float bowl they remade as well. This is in the restoration of the carb. So that's that, and then that should be clamped up there to the frame, which I've bought these rubbery things for cable ties, as opposed to modern shitty plastic cable ties. Got two different lengths as well. Got some like long ones for fat tubes. Got some short ones as well. But sadly, I think these short ones might be a bit too short. I'm gonna have to pass a number of cables up through here. There's probably some instructions there, yeah. What do they say then? Classic bike bits and bobs. There you go. I'm advertising their company for them. Very kindly of me. That's where I got it from, off of eBay. So next we're going to tackle this one. Right, my air slide thingy bob. When I bought this carb, it had this little bit of wire attached to it. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, so if we look here, we've got this nice little slidey thing, which is what creates the choke effectively. Push that out. There's like been, I don't know if this is homemade DIY or what, but you've got this little ferrule type thing over the top of the nipple. So I'll be needing to check if that fits my new cable, and then we can get that installed. But I'm a bit concerned that this here might again need to be drilled out, so let's have a look at that then. New cable. Yeah, fits in nicely, and that fits perfectly to my nipple, so I'm very happy about that. But the question is going to be, does this go through this? Yes. Oh, and actually it fits. This one, the ferrule fits straight in, so that's perfect. No drilling going on. Right, that slots on like that. Hold on, no, again, fucked up here. Let's take that off. That needs to go on like that, with that bit more towards the top. That bit goes on there. That then slides up inside there, so that's all good. And that spring should stay in there. This spring should obviously fit nicely, I would say, round the outside of that little upstand, but it's not. So anyway, that's all right. So that go in there. Just screw that down. Again, I'm only going to do this hand tight for now, because it may all have to be adjusted once I've got the actual choke lever fitted. But yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Let's have a little look if I've got anything. These. That's one carburetor cables sorted. Like I say, I'm going to have to just figure out which tube I want to fit them to. I refitted the fuel tank because I wanted to do some more stuff with the cables, but it was good because seeing the fuel tank on the bike reminds me of why I'm doing this project. I do enjoy the look of this tank. It's the shape and the slope at the back mainly. It's a bit narrower than the KTT. So anyway, yeah, so I wanted that tank on so that I could position these handlebars. I wanted to make sure that I've got enough clearance between there and there, and that I'm happy with how the slope of the angle is for my bars. I needed to do that with the tank on, obviously, but because these inverted levers that I've got, you might be able to see this one on this side, they needed to be drilled off, and because they just fit into the end of the bar. So I drilled through my bar and into the inverted lever, and I've tapped it out with a 4BA grub screw, and I put the grub screw in, but now I'm thinking there's a slight bit of movement, but I'm going to try and slightly pack them so they're a nice snug fit, these into the bar. Otherwise I could go with a countersunk head and just try and make sure that it's pulling up against, so through hole in the bar, only tapped into the lever and let it pull up tight. But like I say, we'll see. I think it'll be right. I put on the throttle and then the grip that side so I can position my clutch lever just to check, because that one over there is going to be the decompressor. So yeah, good little bit of progress there with the drilling and all that. Okay, so the biggest hold up for me on this project's been cables. Hopefully you can see these 4 cables here, and obviously the 2 that I fitted to the carburetor. I think I was just concerned I need to make my own cables due to the fact that I couldn't buy any via the part numbers, they're too obsolete, and because this bike's so old in the Velo range that it just was going to be a problem. So anyway, I decided to just buy these cables from the club. These 2 were actually from Grove, but don't know why. So these are all from the club, stock items. This one is magneto, it's for a Lucas magneto. I haven't tried that yet, we'll find out. Obviously my magneto is ML. Front brake cables, this one with the adjuster thingy up here, that's for a KSS, so it's not right for my bike, but I'm hoping I can use it and cut off the cable and remove the adjuster and this bit here, but use the top bit from the brake down. Clutch cable and decompression lever cable. Decompression lever again will be a slight problem because of the way mine is done. We'll get around to that. So the clutch cable, that's the first job, because once that's in, I'll be able to fit my oil tank and the oil pipes and hopefully actually go for an attempt of a start. So I was worried, obviously, since I've put this front on, I might have to remove it to get this little bit here. Not sure if this will come out, but this is for the clutch. The only annoying thing is that the nipple is 1 mil, roughly 1 mil too big to fit in this little slot. So that's my next job. I'll file that down, get it through there. But the good thing is, like this tower piece that goes into the gearbox is just like hollow big holes that go through there. I managed to purchase from the club this little bit here, so that will sit in the top of that and take my cable in nicely, I think. Also purchased some bolts, because for the tank, so although I had the tank mounted the other day, this is the rubber system, so a big one on the top, small one on the bottom, and then these are the bolts that the employed engineer used. No good. It just screws up into the bottom of the tank. What you need is one of these with the shoulder shank, and then just stop there, so that as you bolt that up, it will stop and not go through the bottom of your tank, and yet the rubbers will still be able to do their thing. So I got myself 4 brand new ones of them. I did have 3 originals, but can't find them, plus I needed to make a 4th. So yeah, that's good. I'll get on with doing this clutch cable thing and then we'll carry on. Got the clutch cable fitted with obviously filing down the nipple, but with this adjuster fully in and that adjuster on the top of the case fully in, I've got like quite a huge amount of free play on the inner cable. So I haven't adjusted my clutch yet. I've just set it up, so that will need adjusting via the peg in the sprocket, and then if that doesn't work, obviously I can adjust up here on the actual thing and on the middle adjuster, so that's good. This cable here was the next project, if you like. That was for my hang on, I just need to try and turn that around so you can see. Yeah, I know it's a bit ridiculous showing that, but no. So this is for the ML Magneto. This is the original tower. Do believe that's the original, and that's the brand new one. Luckily for me, the threads, take the spring out, the threads are identical. I haven't wound it in all the way yet. I can see this one's got a lot longer thread than what that one has, but yeah, had to modify the nipple slightly just to fit in the advanced retard mechanism. But no, I'm really pleased that that's the same thread diameter, so I can keep that as an original. But obviously I can't use that without removing the nipple, so this cable I'm pretty optimistic it's going to work with my levers, so that'd be great. So you saw earlier I was mentioning about that amount of free play I had on my clutch cable, so I just want to explain why my clutch wasn't working, because it took me a while to find out. So you've got these 3 little pins that push out and separate the plates. I've shown you these before in some other video. Anyway, that's the ones that came with the bike. That's the ones that are correct for a 7-plate clutch. So there's quite a massive difference in height between those two. So I bought these for the 7-plate correct for my bike. That's what came with the bike. Neither of them worked. And then since then I've bought the ones from the Owners Club that are for the 9-plate clutch, which is what I've now used and managed to make it work fine. So, but I was still having a problem. Now this piece here, like a distance piece. This is what came on the bike, but this bike is a bit messed about with. So anyway, so it turns out that this is at least 1 millimeter longer that way than it should be. So this was causing me a whole lot of issues with these little thrust pins. It's also slightly wider diameter than it should be, so that also caused me an issue. I also featured another video where I was filing down the inside of the thrust bearing cage, if you like, which I probably didn't need to do, but I'm not sure. But this is definitely slightly larger diameter and definitely too long. So that piece there is quite important to check that you've got the right thing fitted in your clutch, or it might give you a load of problems like I've had with these thrust pins.